Good afternoon, everyone. So, in today's lesson, we are looking at poetry analysis. We'll be analyzing poems once again. In particular, in today's lesson, we are just looking at the external structure of a poem as opposed to the poem's internal structure. Now, what do we focus on when we look at the external structure of a poem? Accordingly, when we analyze the external structure of a poem, students, we look at lines, stanzas, rhyme scheme, marks used in the poem, and lastly, the enjambment in a poem. So we basically have these 5 points on which we focus when we try to analyze the external structure of a poem. And for today's lesson, as you can see that I only highlighted lines and stanzas, we are only focusing on these two, and later on we will unpack the other remaining 3. In analyzing the external structure of a poem, the lines and stanzas, I want us to look at this particular poem by Sir John Milton on his blindness, right? Now, breaking an ice, you can already see that this poem has how many stanzas? Sorry, rather lines. Let me move down. You have line 1 up until line 14. So this poem has been annotated already, giving you a total of 14 lines. So this poem only has 14 lines. So I have done at least one part when it comes to analyzing the external structure of a poem. We now know it has 14 lines. And this information is going to come in very handy later on when we analyze the poem. Moving forward, we then analyze the stanza of the poem. And of course, how do we see stanzas in a poem? You look for breaks or gaps in between the lines in your poem. And there are poems that only have one stanza, just like this one. It only has one stanza, of course, because this is a sonnet. So in this poem, we only have one stanza. So we have now worked out the number of lines in the poem and the number of stanzas in the poem. So we have done at least 2 parts in analyzing the external structure of the poem. Now, after doing that, you have a task to do at home, and in your task, you will be analyzing the external structure of the poem composed upon Westminster Bridge by William Wordsworth. Focus on the number of lines and stanzas in your poem. You can access the poem in the link below, and I know some of you will not be able to access this link. So now I have included the link for you students in our chat box. So you will just click on the chat box and then you will download the poem. Thereafter, you may either print it out to only analyze its external structure encompassing the lines and stanzas, or you can just work on your poem while it's on the screen. Thank you. Till we meet next time.